Hello, my friends, and welcome to Genealogy Gems podcast episode number 295. In this episode, we are going back to the basics. We're going to cover beginning genealogy step by step. I've got 10 steps for you to get you started. And I've heard from lots of you that you have maybe taken a break from genealogy for a while and you're trying to get back into it. I hope this is a nice little refresher for you. And if you've been at it for a while, it never hurts to kind of go back over the basics and make sure that we aren't missing any pieces. So whether you're a beginner, you're just coming back, or you've been at it for a long time, I think this episode is for all of us. So hold tight. We are going to start beginning genealogy right after this. One of Family Tree Magazine's best of 2024 is genealogy research software called Goldie May. It can speed up your research, untangle your family tree, and help you stay organized. Do you have 50 tabs open at once? Goldie May can save them. Do you need a research log? Goldie May can keep one for you automatically. Do you pull out paper to figure out your research? Goldie May has visual tools that can help you with that, and there's much more. Goldie May does not replace the genealogy programs that you use, but instead it works with them. What it might replace are the sticky notes on your monitor and papers on your desk, all those places where you keep notes and figure out your research. There's a lot that you can do for free with Goldie May. Download it today and give it a try. Or you can get a discounted subscription at goldiemay.com/genealogygems. That's goldiemay.com/genealogygems. Have you ever wondered about your family history? Well, delving into your ancestry can be both exciting and a little bit overwhelming. So today I'm going to break down the basics of genealogy research, good genealogy research. And I'm going to be offering you beginner-friendly tips and tricks that are going to help you get started on your family tree journey. Now, these tips are also great if you've taken a break and it's been a while and you want to get back into genealogy. It'll help restart your game. And if you've been at it for a while, take this list and just double check that you have covered all your bases. So let's get started. Step number 1 is to gather what you know. Now, genealogy is all about starting with yourself and working backwards in time. So you want to compile all the information that you have about your current family, including names, dates, places, special events. Scour your house for records, for photo albums, and family Bibles. Those could have your grandparents' birth dates in there. You never know. So go and look through all the nooks and crannies of your house. Talk to your parents. See what they might have. If you're lucky enough that your grandparents are still alive, then check in with them too. But write down everything that you know and everything that you've heard. If they've told you stories, if you remember hearing stories when you were a kid, take a few moments to jot those down so that you can explore them further later. This is really going to be the foundation of your research. All right, step number 2, you need to get a genealogy software program. This is going to be the place where you're going to put all the information that you've pulled together so far and everything that you find from this point forward. Now, yes, you can build your family tree online, but it is really critical to have the main family tree, your master database, there on your own computer. That way, you own the files. You've got control over them. You don't have to worry about maintaining a subscription on a genealogy website or worrying about a website going out of business. You can certainly use genealogy websites and you can put family tree information out there as well. But your genealogy software, that's going to be your home base, and you need to have that on your own computer. Now, there are a wide variety of genealogy software programs out there, but the good news is you only need one. So you make the choice, you install it on your computer, and you are good to go. And it's really not a big investment. For really less than $40 or $50, you can get a pretty powerful program that can track everything that you're doing, keep it organized, make it really easily searchable, and they can even run reports and connect you to hints that are coming from genealogy websites. So some of the biggest names out there are Roots Magic, Legacy Family Tree, Family Tree Maker, and Reunion. They're probably the most popular. They've certainly been around probably the longest. I personally use Roots Magic. People ask me that a lot, but really, they're all great, and I think you'd be happy with any of them. If you are on a tight budget, don't want to spend any money out of the gate, there's an alternative for you as well. Try the Family Tree Builder by MyHeritage. I will have a link with this video in the video description and in the show notes on my website. That is a great option, and it synchronizes really well with the myheritage.com website. And the other thing that a software program is going to do for you, it's going to make it easier for you to cite your sources as you're finding information. In fact, the stuff that you've already gathered, you're the source. So you're going to cite your sources and make sure that each fact that you list in your family history has a source to back it up. That way, if it comes into question later, or you just want to be able to go back and review it, you'll know exactly where you got it. All right. Now, before we leave your computer and start doing research, there's one more thing you need to do, and that's step number 3. Back up your computer. Don't take another step until you make sure that your computer is automatically getting backed up to the cloud. This is really important. I know too many people who've gotten in touch with me over the years and said, oh no, I just lost everything. It doesn't have to be that way. Cloud backup is easier than ever to do. And I think the important thing about getting one that backs up to the cloud is that it's not really a backup unless it's not in your house. So having an external hard drive that you plug in once a month and try to do a backup, that's not really going to do you any good, because if something happens in the house, that can be destroyed along with your computer. And external hard drives can break. They're a mechanical device. So it's really, really a good idea to have your cloud backup happening automatically, sending your data off to a secure cloud storage off-site so that you have redundancy, you have a duplication of your materials, as well as it's off-site. That will keep it safe. Now, you can set this up typically with a simple yearly plan. You sign up. There are a lot of good backup companies out there, and you download the software, pay the yearly subscription, turn it on, and after it does its initial backup, it's going to automatically do it in the background. You can forget it. Now, the one that I use personally is Backblaze.com, and I do have an affiliate link for them because I think they're terrific, and they've been a great supporter of Genealogy Gems. So you'll find that in our show notes and on our video description, or just go to backblaze.com/podcast-Lisa, and that will get you to Backblaze. I really like them because it's really easy to order a terabyte hard drive to be overnighted to me if I need a really fast backup, if something has happened to my computer, which has happened before. And they also include video files in the backup. And that's something to check. If you have home movies, if you have video files, make sure whoever you pick to do your automatic backup includes videos automatically. You don't have to select them one by one to make sure that they're backed up. So number 3, back up your computer. Step number 4 is to interview your living relatives. It is really important to take the time to talk with family members. I can't stress this enough. You'd be amazed the gems of information that different people in your family will have. You're going to want to gather all the information, uncover the stories, and really gain insights into your family history before you go out and start searching for new records. Encourage your family members to share their memories, their photos, their documents. This is your chance to find out what they know. And let's be practical. It's really best to start with your oldest living relatives. I think it was Alex Haley who once said that, when one person dies, it's like an entire library going up in flames. Each of us has such unique experiences and memories and knowledge. And so we want to talk to our oldest living relatives first. So prepare your questions ahead of time. And I would suggest, whenever possible, record it. Just grab the voice recorder on your phone, ask their permission to turn it on, And that way you'll have it captured and you could even transcribe it later. Step number 5 is to get familiar with artificial intelligence and the AI tools that are out there. So you can see kind of the theme we've got going on here. We're trying to get ourselves ready to go to do really good in-depth research. And you need the right tools. Your database is one of those. But these days, AI is really essential. So embrace AI-powered tools. Even if you don't use them for anything else, there's no denying what AI can do, and it can dramatically speed up your research and do a lot of the heavy lifting. It can help you prepare research questions and research plans. It can create location guides. It can transcribe documents. It's just amazing. So get comfortable with at least one of the leading AI chatbots out there. You can start out with the free version, whichever one you pick. And if you want a little more horsepower, then you could do the low monthly fee that many of them offer. So some of the leading options that you might want to take a look at: ChatGPT, Grok, Google's Gemini, Perplexity, and I would say Claude. Any one of those, I think, would do a great job for you. Personally, I'm using Grok right now. I've got a subscription to that, but I use Gemini, the free version, quite a bit, as well as ChatGPT. So pick one, bookmark it on your web browser, and use it. Just start using it and asking it what it can do for you. Check out my AI for Genealogy playlist at the Genealogy Gems YouTube channel. We are getting quite a collection of videos put together for you. And if you head to my website, genealogygems.com, you'll find those same videos along with downloadable handouts. Once you've laid this foundation, you are ready to make your first new discoveries. Now, at first, it'll be easy to know what to work on because you're going to be starting with yourself and working backwards. Most of us can fill in most of the blanks for our grandparents, but then it's time to move on to your great-grandparents and so on. So step number 6 is to know what you are looking for. And just to be clear, you are going to focus on, probably at first, just finding ancestors. So ancestors are the people that you are directly descended from. Those are your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, and so on. But you'll also be filling in the tree with relatives. And these are your aunts and your uncles, your cousins, and so on. So for each ancestral couple, take the time to find their children. These people may feel more secondary to you, but the record of a great aunt might actually have the key to unlocking information about her parents that you couldn't find by researching, let's say, her brother, who's your grandfather. So when it comes to all your great aunt's kids and their spouses, that's totally up to you if you want to take the time and invest in finding everything that you can about them. But you might want to wait until you make more progress, moving back up the family tree to come back to them later and fill in those details. All right. Step number 7 is to gather foundational records. So you're going to focus on some essential milestones for each of your ancestors in your tree. So think of this information as kind of like the backbone of your family tree. You can add flesh to the bones later on, and we're going to do that. Start with the most recent event that happened with that particular ancestor, which, if you're working, let's say, on your great-grandparents, that's very likely their death. And then you're going to move back from there, find their marriage, and ultimately their birth. So the death, marriage, and birth kind of give you a framework for that person, but there are some essential details you're going to want to fill in next. And that would be, for instance, children. Did they have any children? And the records you could look to for that would be census records, obituaries, those types of things. And then you might want to look at where they lived throughout their life. And again, census records are going to help you with that. I really like city directories, which are published far more often than, of course, the census, and things like voter registrations. And you might want to look too and see if they served in the military. So some of the records you'd be looking for are draft records, service records, and pension records. So while not everything is online by any stretch of the imagination, it's nice to be able to start online from the comfort of your home. So let's talk about some of the best online sources to get these initial records. And that brings us to step number 8, which is to leverage the power of search engines. Today's episode is sponsored by MyHeritage, a global discovery platform enjoyed by 110 million people worldwide. MyHeritage has it all and offers a full-service experience that bridges your past, present, and future. The MyHeritage DNA Kit reveals your ethnic origins and finds your new relatives based on shared DNA. It's popular all over the world, and their constantly growing DNA database means that more matches to new relatives are just around the corner. You'll receive a percentage breakdown of your ethnic origins from 42 supported regions and weekly email updates as new DNA matches are found. It's also the leading DNA service for anyone with European origins. Make the most of your DNA results with a MyHeritage subscription and access advanced tools for genetic genealogy, like the theory of family relativity, autoclusters, shared ancestral places, and much more. Order your kit today at myheritage.com/DNA. Already taken a DNA test with another service? Upload your DNA data to MyHeritage for free to receive DNA matches and access new discoveries. That's myheritage.com/DNA. Today's episode is sponsored by newspapers.com, your go-to resource for unlocking the stories of your ancestors. Dive into the newspapers where your family's history unfolds as you search nearly 1 billion pages in seconds. Newspapers.com offers an unparalleled treasure trove of historical newspapers, providing a window into the past. With papers from the 17th century to today, newspapers.com is the largest online newspaper archive. It's a goldmine for anyone seeking to uncover stories from the past. Whether you're a seasoned genealogist or just starting your journey, newspapers.com can make it easy to search for obituaries, birth announcements, and the everyday stories that shaped your family. It's like having a time machine at your fingertips. And here's the best part. Our listeners get an exclusive offer. Visit newspapers.com/genealogygems for a 20% discount on your subscription. That's newspapers.com/genealogygems. Sign up today and embark on a journey of discovery. There are some incredible free online resources, and why not start with free? So here are some of the top sites you're going to want to put on your list. FamilySearch.org. They have all kinds of historical records, millions and millions of them. They also have digitized historical books and a global family tree. So you'll be able to see lots of research that other genealogists have done. Findagrave.com is the world's largest gravesite collection. And what's tremendous about that is you're going to not only find details about their life, but very likely some photographs, maybe a photograph of their tombstone. Some people even put memorials to people. So you could really get a variety of information. The National Archives is a great resource for governmental records, and that might be a wonderful place to start looking for military records. Chronicling America is absolutely free as well, and it is a huge database of historical newspapers. And be sure to look beyond just obituaries. While I think those are a terrific target at first, you're really going to want to search this collection because you could find advertisements, articles, photographs, a wide range of information from throughout your ancestor's life. And to kind of round out this list, I think I've got to put Google Books on the list. It is available absolutely free. It includes over 25 million digitized books. And the thing about Google Books is while it kind of catalogs all books that have been published, you can filter down to just the free books. And free tends to be the books that are older, that are in the public domain. And that's the kind of books we want to look at. The older historical books. So I would say when you look at Google Books, actually tell yourself in your head, I'm looking at Google printed materials, because that's really what it is. They don't have just books. Newspapers, catalogs, almanacs, court records. There's a wide range here. So it is a fabulous, fabulous place to go. So that was familysearch.org, findagrave.com, the National Archives, Chronicling America, and Google Books. And that's going to give you a really good assortment of records to get this initial work done. And Google Books brings to mind one more point. When you're going to be searching online, you're going to need to up your game when you do Google searching, because Google is really going to help you find resources beyond all the obvious major genealogy websites. So those skills include using search operators. So even though we might be used to going into Google search and just typing in a sentence or a couple of words, oftentimes genealogy is a little more complicated than that. So if you really want to explain to Google which person you're talking about, which William Smith, you're going to have to give it more details, because there are millions of pages out there talking about that particular name. So what you're going to want to do is use quotation marks. You can put those around a name, any kind of phrase, even an individual word. And that tells Google that every search result it gives you has to have that exact name or phrase. It has to be spelled the way you spelled it. It has to be that those words are in that particular order. This can help a lot. Get all that junk out of your search results. And another way to get junk out of your search results is to use the minus sign. So if there are words popping up in the results that really are irrelevant to what you're looking for or getting in the way, you can add that word to your search query and then put a minus sign in front of it. Tell Google to subtract it out, focus on what you have in the quotation marks, and don't give you items that mention that word. So, if your last name is Green, you don't need search results about lawnmowers or Kermit the Frog. So you might want to subtract a couple of those keywords in order to focus in on this Green person that you're talking about, whether it's George Green. And I would recommend, when you put a name in quotation marks, put an asterisk between the first name and the last name. That search operator tells Google that while the name has to be exact as a phrase and spelled the way you spelled it, there could be a middle initial or a middle name in there. So the asterisk gives a little bit of wiggle room to provide you with a more complete name if it's available. Don't have the asterisk touch either of the names. You want to have a space on either side, because it's kind of a holding spot in case there's a middle name. There are a lot more search operators that you can use. You can learn about those on our other videos. But the important point is to know how to talk Google's language so that you can really get the results that you need. And the other thing that you are going to want to be doing is using Google's alerts. So Google Alerts is absolutely free. You can sign up with a free account and give it a Gmail address. I think you have to use a Gmail address to use it. So you could set one up just for genealogy research. When you run search queries on Google, copy them and put them in Google Alerts. And then Google will start to run those searches for you automatically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is really like getting your own genealogy research assistant, because who has time to run the same search query every day? That way, if something new pops up online or something that you've already looked at has been updated, Google will send you those results automatically to your Gmail email. All right, you've already made a great deal of progress. Step number 9 is your chance to put some flesh on the bones. In other words, you are creating a more comprehensive timeline for your ancestors. Your genealogy software probably has a timeline report feature. So what I would recommend at this point is pull it up, print it out, and use that to help you start filling in the gaps. So what are some of the gaps you're going to be filling in? Well, how about where they worked? So records like the census records, city directories, industry catalogs over at Google Books, all of these can help you to find out where they worked and learn more about their occupation. Also, they might have owned some land. So look for land records, tax records, or probate records to learn more about that. If they immigrated from another country, you would be wanting to look for passenger lists or citizenship papers. Those are a treasure trove of information and really exciting to see their ancestor who came from the old country and crossed the pond. Photographs also, of course, are fabulous, and there are a lot of sources for those, more than you might think. Remember those family members you were interviewing? Be sure and ask them if they have any old family photos. You can use Google search to look for online photographs. There are old photograph databases out there. One of my favorites is deadfred.com. I did an interview with the owner of Dead Fred. You can find that on my website. It's a fantastic tool for finding and identifying old photographs. And genealogy websites like Ancestry.com, MyHeritage, Find My Past, and Family Search. All of them have old photos. And really any other interesting events that pique your interest along the path of research. And I would say, gosh, newspapers and old books are wonderful resources just to get more of the bigger picture of the types of events that would have happened in your ancestors' lives. And finally, number 10, mastering the art of record interpretation. You know, it's not enough just to find records. You've really got to understand what they're telling you and what they're not telling you. So take the time to familiarize yourself with the record collection that you're looking at. Ask yourself, when was this created? And who created it? Even more importantly, why did they create it? If we know why the record was created, then we know that there are going to be some things it may not include because that wasn't the point of the record. And how about what time frame does it cover? There's nothing worse than spending hours digging into a collection just to realize it actually doesn't cover the years that you need to find records. And what doesn't it include? So if you look at the census, a great way to find all these answers to these questions is to look at the census enumerator instructions. Those are available for free over at the National Archives on their website. And those instructions will tell you what they were told to do, why they were doing it, and what kind of information they were not supposed to be asking. This gives you so much insight as you look at the records for your families as to what they were really telling them and what they didn't say, what's not said there in the record. I would suggest using AI tools that we talked about to help you transcribe and translate records as well. But when you do that, just always check for accuracy. If you use it to transcribe something, that's great. Double check that it didn't miss anything. If you used it for translation, it wouldn't hurt to run a portion of that past a professional translator just to make sure that you can interpret the document correctly and it didn't make some mistakes. Find out what abbreviations mean in the records that you're looking at. Again, the census is a great example because the enumerator instructions, the people who took the census, their instructions would be use this abbreviation and it means this. So when you're looking at the record, that's not obvious. But if you look at the instructions, now it starts to make more sense. And use multiple credible sources, preferably primary sources, to verify the information that you're finding. Just because a record says something doesn't make it true. And that's why we really want to compare records against each other. We want to think about whether it's a primary record that the person who wrote this down was really there and they really knew what they were talking about, or it's a secondary record. It's recorded after the fact. Maybe somebody else told somebody something and then it got recorded. That really makes a difference. And that goes back to why it's so critical that you cite your sources. Because sometimes years later, we'll look at something and realize this isn't adding up. And you can go back and look at the original source that you used and either find better sources or realize that the one you just found today probably is more accurate than the one you found a year ago. So cite your sources all along the process. I've got loads of videos at Genealogy Gems on the YouTube channel. They're going to help you out with this. And they're all also on my website. And the beauty of looking at them on the website is that you have show notes. So I write up all the details, all the how-to instructions, and you can even download them as PDF cheat sheets to use as well. They're all designed to help you build your family tree and find the most incredible and unique stories that really, they're a part of your story. Have fun. Let me know in the comments what kind of successes you're having, what questions you have. And until next time, thank you so much for listening, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.